Hayes Trail Boom instruction video. Firstly, we need to mount the console into the cab. We'll need to supply 12 volt power to it with a red lead to positive power and a black lead to earth. That can be found inside the cab normally. On the right hand side of the console, the harness is to be routed outside the cab, and it'll come to a 23 pin Deutsch plug which will be mounted near the remotes. With that, there is an 8th line inside a convoluted tube which is to supply pressure to the low pressure alarm. Install a hydraulic switch panel into the cab. We also have to connect 12 volt power and earth, again red power, black earth leads somewhere in the cab normally. Now we're also going to run on the right hand side of this console as the harness, which will run outside the cab. Now it'll have two 14 pin connectors on it which cannot be reversed. They have pins in one, sockets in the other, so they can't be hooked up the wrong way. They again are mounted near the remotes. Okay. Connect tractor to trailer and attach safety chain. Right, lower park jack and remove and place in its working position. Install pin and linchpin. Now identify the free flow return on the tractor hydraulic system for the return oil from the Hypro pump. When connecting the hydraulic hose to the tractor, you will find two 1/2 inch hydraulic hoses that operate your hydraulic pump and two 3/8 hoses that operate all your boom, tilt, fold and height adjust functions found on the electric over hydraulic switch panel. The 1/2 inch hose with spiral wrap on it is the pressure hose, and it can be connected to any remote on either side, depending on whether you prefer to push your hydraulic lever forward or pull it back. The unmarked 1/2 inch hydraulic hose must be fit to a free flow return. This is to allow the motor to gently stop rather than the sudden jar it would receive if connected through the normal remote when stopping the hydraulic oil flow. The hydraulic lever must be detented in your preferred forward or back position to give continuous flow to the hydraulic motor. Free flow return, pump pressure. These two are for your hydraulic switch panel. Okay. The two 3/8 hydraulic hoses can be connected to any pair of remotes. The hose with red spiral wrap on it is on the pressure side. The hydraulic lever must be detented in your preferred forward or back position to give continuous flow to the tilt, fold and height adjust hydraulic control valves. Next, connect the three Deutsch plugs. The larger 23 pin plug operates the sprayer's chemical valves and sensors. The two 14 pin Deutsch plugs operate the hydraulic tilt, fold and height adjust functions. Remove the vertical locking pin in the height adjust tower. These two pins are for transport and maintenance positions. Place the pin in the vertical locking pin holder. If tail lights are fitted, you'll have a 7-pin accessory plug to plug in the back of your tractor. Okay, before folding out the boom arms, ensure that all the transport cable ties and tie down straps have been removed. You must be stationary when folding the boom arms. Please familiarise yourself with the switch panel. Now the two switches on the left are the tilts, lift up to raise and down to lower, left and right. Okay, the third switch along is the tower up and down of the whole boom. Okay, the next two are our inner folds. Okay, down for out and up for in. And the last two on the right are our outer folds, down for out and up for in. Now you're ready to fold out your boom. Engage your hydraulic remote coupled to the hydraulic switch panel keeping the oil flow approximately 25%. Increase or decrease this rate to have your booms tilting up at the required speed. The next folding steps can be completed one side at a time by pressing one switch, or both sides together by pressing two switches. Firstly, we must slightly tilt the booms up, just enough to clear the boom carrier frame. So momentarily press the hydraulic switches up to the tilt raise position. Next, press the inner fold switch down to the fold out position. Hold the switch down until the inner fold is fully folded out. Now, booms up to 38 meters can be operated in this half folded out position. Next, press the outer fold switch down to the fold out position. Hold the switch down until the outer fold is fully folded out. Next, press the tilt lower switch down to tilt your boom down to a level position. Repeat these same fold steps for the opposite side of the boom. Lastly, press the tower down switch down until the sprayer is at your ideal spray height. Now, fold up is a reversal of the fold out procedure. Now, please note, you should never operate a haze sprayer with the booms fully lowered or fully raised, as this will lock out the hydraulic accumulators. We need to have approximately 40 millimeters of travel available to allow the accumulators to work correctly. Pin must be removed before spraying to allow the boom to remain level while the trailer travels over stump holes and rough terrain. Setting up the Hypro pump to spray. The butterfly handled tap sets the amount of agitation going back to the spray tank. We normally only open it approximately 25% with glyphosate. Other chemicals may require greater agitation, but never operate with this tap fully on or fully off. Up there. Turn the spray tank suction tap on. Turn the pressure spray tap on. This is also used to isolate the filters for cleaning. Turn on the spray controller. Set the controller to manual operation. Now we need to manually open the regulating valve by depressing the plus button for 7 seconds. Next, we must turn all boom sections on. Adjust the oil flow on the remote operating the Hypro pump to approximately 25%. Engage the remote and slowly increase the oil flow until your desired spray pressure is achieved. Do not exceed 5 bar pressure when the spray nozzles are on, or 6 bar pressure when the spray nozzles are off. should only see 1 bar of pressure drop between the nozzles being on and nozzles being off. If the gauge is going off the dial or very high up, greatly reduce your hydraulic oil flow to save the wear on your hydraulic motor. The normal agitation line is a 3/4 line returning to the bottom of the tank. The jet agitator is fitted at the rear of the tank and is turned on by this T-handle tap. Jet agitators are for powders or products requiring greater agitation. Don't use with Roundup or you will just froth up the tank and cause aeration of the chemical when the tank is below half full. Tank rinse nozzles are fitted inside the tank to assist with decontamination. Greasing the boom spray. All the main fold points of the boom require greasing every 10 hours. You will find 2 grease points on the first fold point at each swivel joint. 2 remote grease points for the upper swing arms and 1 for the self-level pivot point. 1 grease point for the swivel ball in the tow hitch. 4 grease points at the outer fold point of each boom arm. 1 grease point on the support jack. This will only require greasing every 100 hours. Regularly check your tyre pressures that are specific to each tyre. The recommended pressure will be printed on the tyre. After the first 50 hours and then every 200 hours, check the following. Your drawbar bolts are tight. Check your wheel nuts are tightened to 300 foot-pounds or 400 Newton meters. Check your wheel bearings. If flotation tyres are fitted, recheck your wheel bearings every 100 hours. We recommend repacking wheel bearings with grease at least annually or as required. Load and deliver plumbing. It looks complex, but if we look at the lower ball valves as all suction lines and all the upper ball valves as delivery lines, with normally only 1 suction, 1 delivery and 1 agitation line on at any one time, with all other ball valves off, it becomes more simple. Please familiarise yourself with the ball valve labelling. Now the main tank fill is on the left hand side. It's commonly a 2-inch cam lock from your main reservoir. Now to its right is an induction probe cam lock to connect to a suction spear if drawing from a 20 litre drum. So also on the suction side of the pump we have a tank suction, a rinse tank suction and a hopper suction. On the pressure side of the pump we have the tank fill ball valve, rinse tank fill ball valve, tank wash ball valve, hopper clean water delivers pressure to the hopper, and then there's a spare wash down ball valve. Agitation ball valve, spray pressure ball valve. Connect the load hose to the fill cam lock. Open the tank fill ball valve and then open the tank fill ball valve. Open the rinse tank ball valve and close when it's full. If drop down hopper is fitted, start loading the main tank with water. Fill hopper with chemical as desired. Turn on the hopper clean water. Turn on the hopper agitation if required. Turn on the hopper suction. When empty, turn off the hopper agitation. Turn off the hopper suction. Repeat the previous steps if you require more than 120 litres of chemical. Now to wash our drums, turn on the bottle wash ball valve. Now it'll put pressure into the drum washer. Now when you push a drum onto this and depress it, it'll shoot water up into the drum, rinsing it out. To rinse the hopper, turn on the hopper wash ball valve to rinse out the rinse components. Turn the hopper suction on to empty the rinse bin and then turn it off when it is empty. To increase the speed at which the chemical is delivered, you can partially shut down the tank fill ball valve to reduce the amount of water suction and increase the amount of suction on the chemical side. End of each day maintenance, rinse the spray lines, flow meter and regulator valve with clean water. To do this, turn the tank suction ball valve off and turn the rinse tank suction valve on. Turn your spray monitor on, engage the Hypro pump remote, fully open the regulating valve and turn your motorised ball valves on to allow water to flow from the spray nozzles for several minutes. To protect the paintwork of your boom spray, it will require regular washing at the end of each spraying session. When using hydrocarbon based products, a strict external cleaning method is required using clean water. Do not allow dust to build up and turn to chemical impregnated mud. Any neat chemical spills on the paintwork will require immediate washdown. The optional floating hitch drawbars. The floating hitch drawbar is fitted with hydraulic accumulators which significantly improve the terrain ride whilst providing a smooth connection between the trailer and tractor. It is recommended for larger tanks and when working in contour terrain. In use, you fully lower or close the drawbar cylinders up. Hold the hydraulic remote for a few seconds. Adjust to the height where the trailer is level. When spraying, the hitch will adjust according to weight distribution, such as booms extended and the remaining tank volume. Adjustment may be required if the drawbar is found to creep up or down during operation. To adjust, have the hydraulic flow engaged. Fully raise the drawbar, loosen the lock nut on the grub screw and turn the grub screw anti-clockwise until the hitch just starts to lower. Now turn the grub screw in 360 degrees, one full turn, and lock the lock nut. That is now set. Decontamination. You may need to decontaminate your boom spray when changing from one chemical to another or changing from one crop type to another. Flush all spray lines, agitation lines, delivery hoses, tanks, jugs, rinse bins and chemical hopper with clean water. Make sure you utilise the tank rinse nozzles from your main tank. When soaking boom spray with rinsing solution, leave all ball valves turned half on to expose inner cavities to the rinse. We also recommend activating each ball valve while rinsing so you get nothing caught behind them. Flush again with recommended cleaner. Talk to your agronomist about the best cleaning agent and penetration time. Flush out cleaning agent with clean water.